New recording. All right. So these are notes for YouTube channel. One of the episodes. So one thing that I wanted to talk about was, there's a Christmas tree light. That is so cute. That was so cute. That was an evergreen with Christmas lights on the side of a highway. That is adorable. Okay, anyway. Sidetracked. One thing that I wanted to talk about on my channel or on a video was religion. So I grew up in apostolic, Pentecostal with the apostolic faith, I guess that's how it goes. And one question that I've always had growing up, especially when I learned that there was other religions, was why is there other religions? Like, why is there so many different ways to worship worship God, worship a God? And then is the God that they're worshiping the same God that we're worshiping? That's a question that I always had. Is that God, their God, the same as our God? And then other religions, some older religions have different gods. And I've always thought that God was not a person, not some white man with a white beard sitting on a cloud looking down at everybody, judging them and every single thing that they done or that they do, but God as in a divine entity that lives in everything. The plants, the road, even like the sky, the air, the whole universe. It's an energy that lives within every living thing, even us. So I had asked a friend once, do you think that God is something that lives within us and that we have an inner goddess or God within us, or we have divine within us? And she was like, no, I don't think that's how it works. I'm like, okay, we were drinking, so it could have been she probably just didn't want to talk about it while we were drinking. Anyway, but yeah, that's how I see God. I see God as a divine entity that lives within all of us, that lives within every living thing. So with that definition, God lives within every human being. God is within us. So I also wondered, why do we look outward for God if God lives within us? Shouldn't we be looking within? And so the religion that I had, that I grew up with, did not teach how to search for wisdom from God. Every question that I had, they were always like, make sure I'm still recording. Okay. Every question that I had was always like, well, ask God for understanding. I'd be like, how come this and this is that? Oh, ask God for understanding. Really? Like, you can't give me your take on it? What do you think about it? What's your take on it? Ask God for understanding. Okay. Like one of my earliest questions was when we were at Genesis. You had Adam and Eve, and then they had 3 sons, and then one of the sons went to go live with other people. Who are those other people? I don't know. Ask God for understanding. Oh, okay. You don't know. That's your answer. This was what I'm getting. You don't know. You just don't know. Okay. I'll ask God for understanding then. And so, even when they said that, it was just like, all right, so I just need to read it and then pray about it and ask God for understanding. Okay. And God's gonna tell me who these other people are. Okay. Oh, anywho. So that's just something that I've always wondered. All these different questions that I had to ask about God or religion itself. So I've never really connected with a specific religion, mainly because I've always questioned whether or not I was choosing the correct religion. As far as, okay, let's say I choose to be this religion. Does that mean that I'm telling everybody else that, hey, your religion is not right, your religion is wrong, you have to go to my religion or you're going to hell? Like, is that what we're saying to people? Is that the message that we're giving off? Because not too long ago, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 or so years ago, there was people killing over not converting. And then there's people going to different countries, converting them to Christianity. And like, I've never really been a fan of the conversion, like converting people to your religion. Like, I've never been a fan of that, because you don't know what how their ancestors and their ancestors worshiped God. And you don't know if that's how God wanted them to worship him. Not everybody worships God the same way. God could have wanted them to worship him that way. And you're coming in trying to convert them, interrupting the way that God wanted them to worship. And some people are like, well, people see that you're doing good, so they want to know what you're doing to connect with God. And so they want to be on your level. But you don't know that these people want to be on your level. And then they're like, well, it's our job to make sure that they are living righteous and make sure that they're living right. But you don't know that they're already living right. And that brings up another question. If a person is good, is a good person, quotation marks. If a person is a good person and they live right, they didn't harm nobody, they don't hurt nobody, all they lived for is to just be happy and live in the moment and, just be a good, genuine person. Because they did not follow a religion, would that mean that they're going to hell? Would they be condemned as a sinner, or however you would, a non-believer? The person was a genuinely good person. They died, and because they did not, I guess, confess to Jesus, to say that they're gonna be born again in Jesus' name and things like that, does that mean that they're gonna go to hell because of that? Or that they're a bad person because of that? Like, it just never made sense to me. I'm like, I'm an overall good person. I don't like to harm nobody. I don't like to make anyone. I try to live my own life, basically. I live my own life and I do me. I don't put off no hate towards nobody. I want everybody to be happy, right? But because I don't conform to a specific religion or an institution deemed as in the world, or not, I'm gonna be condemned basically at the end of my life. And I don't believe in that. I do not accept that. I cannot accept that. It doesn't make sense. Like, there's people in church, go to church religiously, and they're worse off. They're worse of a person than a normal person who's just trying to live their life, day to day, just trying to be, and just live in the moment and just be, So, I'm not trying to down nobody's religion. I'm not trying to say that you're wrong because you follow a religion. No. If that's the way that you connect with God, that's your way of connecting with God. It's just not for me. It's just not the way that I've found that I need to connect with God, with the divine. I find it better to connect mano a mano. Me and God. I need to look inward and connect with my inner goddess, my inner divine. And then I want to share that with the world. I want to share the way that I connect with God. Even if it's not the way that you connect with God. Meditation, prayer is just another way of meditating. When you pray for something, that's the same as meditating to manifest something in your life. It's the same. So now, once I realized that there's no right or wrong when it comes to worshiping God, there's no specific way, there's no rule books, there's no rules when it comes to God. There's none. How can there be? God is beyond any book that's man-made, that's man-written. He's beyond any one person. It's the world as a collective. The whole world has divine power, divine energy within. The whole world, every single person, plant, living thing. And so once I realized this, I was like, well, darn, I guess everybody worships the same God in their own way. So that means that I can do the same. I can worship God in my own way. There's no rule book. When I connect with God, if He tells me, when I connect with God, if He says that, or if I get the feeling that I need to, go to church and that's where I need to connect with Him at, then that's where I'll go. But until then, I'm still worship the way that I want to worship. And I'm still trying to figure out exactly what that is. Like, at the moment, I do like to meditate, and I do like to walk around and outside and look at all the life that's there. Look at the trees, the blossoming of the flowers, and all that jazz. I like to sit and listen to music. I like to sit and just listen to quiet. Just listen to the noise of nothing. I like to observe the empty space. Like, live in the present moment. That's what I'm doing right now. But I'm still trying to figure out exactly what's my worship and groove, Still connecting with the divine on a deeper level. still working on that. And in other ways to express that with others. So that's my take on religion. You can let me know what your take is. Comment below. Let me know what you think. And then if you like what you hear, if you feel some type of way about what I just said, you can subscribe and listen to whatever else I have thoughts about. So today I wanted to talk about religion. If you have any thoughts on religion, let me know, please.